Hello, this is Manesh Patel from the EII Capital Group. Today is November 29, 2011. It's our weekly Ichimoku analysis for the futures market, where we cover everything from gold, corn, crude oil, everything you could think of out there. It's been a while since we've started these videos again. We will start them up on a weekly basis now, but I just wanted to take some time off of my newborn, so we've done that, and we're about to resume these videos again. This is not for normal disclaimer purposes. This is for education use only. All charts that you're seeing are from Thinkorswim, TradeStation, or FreeStockCharts.com. Here are my contact details. If you want to see any of the Ichimoku videos and learn more about it, you could go to ichimokutrade.com, register for free, and go to the education section, and you could access all our free videos there. You could also follow us on Twitter at Ichimoku Trading. So that's that. So let's go through like we normally did and just start flipping through all the futures. Remember, on the left hand side is the daily time frame here, right hand side is the weekly time frame. So let's just go through in Thinkorswim and just start from the top and start going through all the futures out there. Let's start off with cocoa futures. If you look at cocoa futures on daily and weekly, this thing is breaking down. So it's a trend of both time frames. Really not enough data here to sit there and see where this thing could stop. Let me see if I could go to 20 years. If I get any data. Nope. So you could just rely on pivots here. So this thing could stop at 2262, or it could keep on going down here or here. So either at 2262, 2190, or 1894 are basically the different levels. But this is trending on both time frames now, so this is in a trend. Light sweet crude oil, if you look at a weekly time frame, it's in the cloud, so basically we are consolidating. If you look at a daily time frame, this was trending. It's kind of at a barrier where it's getting topside heavy here, where it's consolidating at the top. Doesn't mean that this trend is over. It has not really even engaged in a major pullback at all. The resistance level is basically 99.20, and the support level right now you're looking at is 96.27. So it's got to make a decision between those two, what's it going to do in terms of a daily time frame to be able to start trending. Cotton, if you look at cotton, is basically started a bearish trend on the weekly time frame. Also, it's broken out here in this consolidation pattern here. As far as the daily is concerned, it was just basically ranging, as you can see, and it finally broke down over here and starting a trend on the daily time frame now for cotton. So this thing's going lower, and it's going to keep on going lower. The next level you have is basically around 80, where it could go. So it's got a potential of another 10 points to drop it can take. US dollar index, if you look at the weekly time frame, it's basically in the cloud, so we're basically consolidating. Nothing really going on there. Sentiment now on the daily time frame is basically bullish. We have not started a trend. We won't start a trend until it breaks 81 again. If it breaks 81, then we have a possibility of starting a bullish trend on the daily time frame. Support, minor support is going to be 78.80, and major support is going to be at 77.37. That's the dollar index. Let's see, what else do we have? We'll look at gold in a minute. I like looking at the minis. Feeder cattle. If you look at feeder cattle on the weekly time frame, this thing is trending. It's been able to hold its trend and keeps on going up on a weekly basis. It's at a minor support level right now at 144. Sorry, at 145. Major support levels on the weekly is going to be 136.61. But if you look at the daily time frame, look what happened. It gapped up, then it came down and filled all the gap. Right now we're sitting at a major support level at 144.60. If you could hold that 144.60 and go back above 146.47, then we have a potential of retesting this high and potentially going higher. So definitely look for feeder cattle, if anything, to go bullish right now until it breaks this minor support major support level that we've just outlined. Lean hogs on the other side is more bearish. If you look at it here, it's in the cloud on a weekly, so it's consolidating. If you look over here, it broke down through the cloud. Right now, it's just sitting there doing nothing at all. It's just state of conflict, so there's nothing in lean hogs at all. Copper, This is the big one everyone's been looking at. If you look at copper, the sentiment changed when it went below the cloud, came down, pulled back to the cloud, stopped there, and now it's kind of holding. It's at a major resistance level right now as far as the weekly is concerned. Sorry, a minor resistance level as far as weekly is concerned. The major one on the weekly time frame is going to be 3.767. If you look at the daily time frame right now, this thing has got to sit there and hold right now as far as the resistance level is concerned. If it could break 3.2187, this thing's going to start a trend going down, retest the lows at 3, and have a possibility of breaking through 3. So definitely start looking for bearish trades here if it starts breaking down below 3.2. That's copper. Heating oil. If you look at heating oil, it's not doing anything at all, just consolidating in a range. It was in trending. Now it's done its major pullback. It came up here. This is kind of retesting the high almost if you don't look at the highs and lows and kind of just look at vicinity. And right now it's just sitting on top of this cloud and really do nothing except consolidate. The weekly, as you can see, is in conflict. Even though it's bullish, it's very weak bullish, so you can't really tell anything that's going on there. Coffee, if you look at it, it's in the cloud, nothing going on there. And if you look at on the daily time frame, it's basically consolidating. Support level is going to be 220, and resistance level is going to be around 242. So it's got to break within those areas. Lumber, really nothing going on as far as lumber is concerned. It's just consolidating in the weekly, as you can see here. And you look at the ranges here are basically 211.80 is a support, and 246.50 is basically resistance level. Live cattle. This is a little better than the other one. Lean hogs, I believe, it's almost like feeder cattle where it's bullish trending on the weekly time frame. On a daily time frame, you could see that basically not doing anything at all here. So in some theories, you can do a pairs trade where you could go long the feeder cattle and go short the lean hogs and kind of do like a hedge trade if you want, and you could see how that works out. Natural gas, if you look at natural gas, basically we are ranging as far as the weekly is concerned. We got to the very bottom of it here. Probably heard everyone talking about it, how we got there. We do have a possibility of breaking down below that. If it do, it's going to start a trend to the downside. So 3.295 is a major resistance level there, and 4 is basically major, sorry, 3.295 is a major support level, and 4 is basically a major resistance level in order for us to break that. Concentrated orange juice, if you look at the weekly time frame, really nothing going on at all. It's got to break about 185 in order to start maybe a trend on the daily time frame, but nothing really going at all over here. So look for this more tilted towards the bullish side. Support's basically going to be around 174.45, and resistance, as I mentioned, is 185, but it's more bearish than bullish. Palladium. If you look at palladium, it's below the cloud on the weekly time frame, has a possibility of breaking down and starting a trend if it could break this levels. And if you look at the levels here, you're looking at basically about 535. If it breaks below 535, this is going to start a trend on both the daily and the weekly. Support. That's a support. It's got to break. Resistance is basically going to be around 635 as a resistance level. It's got to go to sit there and destroy that bearish movement. Platinum, same scenario. Look at the big down movement there, pulled back, held it here, a resistance level of 1676. Now has a possibility of breaking down further. Minor. So breaking down further, retesting the lows. If you look at the daily time frame, you could see that it's come back to the cloud after starting a trend. It does have a possibility now of breaking down. If this thing goes below 1520, it does have a high possibility of retesting lows of 1450. So definitely look at that. And the resistance level is going to be a 1601 to destroy that side. I think we've gone for that. Let's go for gasoline. Gasoline, if you look on the weekly time frames below the clouds, the sentiment is bearish. It's still consolidating right now. It's got to break below this level right here, 2.44. If it does, it has a possibility of breaking down further and going a lot lower. So only time's going to tell. But if it breaks that 2.44 level, it does have a possibility of getting 2.20. Resistance level is going to be basically at 260. Sugar, If you look at sugar on the weekly, it's breaking down. It's gone below the cloud. It still hasn't started a trend yet. If you look at the daily time frame, it has started a trend. It's moving down really, really well, and starting and it's coming down to a resistance support level of 22, and resistance level is going to be 25.21. Silver, we'll get to gold in a minute. If you look at it on the weekly time frame, really just consolidating. Sentiment has changed to be a bearish side, but really nothing going on there. If you look at the daily time frame, it was bearish, came down, done a major pullback, and kind of consolidating here. The more it consolidates and does not break down, the more it gives momentum to the bulls. So this thing has got to break below 30. If it does, then it's going to retest the lows and have a possibility going lower. Resistance level is going to be 33.17. So only time is going to tell us exactly what's going to happen to this guy. Gold, if you look at gold on the weekly, nothing really going. Sentiment is still bullish, just kind of hanging around here, consolidating. If you look at the daily time frame, it's consolidating too. 1810 is basically a major resistance level for it to break, and about 1650 is a support level that has to break to start retesting the lows and going lower. 30-year Treasury bonds. If you look at the weekly time frame, they are bullish. They're trending bullish right now. If you look at the support level, basically is going to be 140,025. 140,25, and resistance level is going to be 146,21. Corn, if you look at corn, it's basically consolidating on the weekly time frame. Nothing going on there. It's basically had a trend, pulled back. Now it's retesting lows. The question is what's it going to do. If it breaks below 575, it could go lower down to 550 and maybe lower that below that. Resistance level is going to be 625. 5-year Treasury bonds, bullish trending as far as the weekly is concerned. The daily looks ugly. It's got to break 123,100 to start a trend to the bullish side again, and their support level is basically 122,145, 147. Soybean oil, if you look at it, it's in the cloud, nothing going on there. If you look at the support side, basically you got, if it breaks 48, then this thing's going to start a trend going down lower, and the resistance level is going to be 50-50. 10-year Treasury bonds, bullish trending on the weekly, but it's kind of consolidating in here at the top, and you could see that here from the daily time frame. Resistance level is 131,100, and the support level is 129,077. Oats, if you look at oats, it's breaking down on the weekly. On the daily, it's breaking down too and starting a trend. Resistance level is going to be basically 315, and support level now is going to be, wow, around 250, believe it or not. It's at a minor support level now, which is around about 285, but if it breaks below that, it can go down to 250. And let's go to wheat. Wheat is bearish trending. Does look like it's trying to pop out as consolidation pairs. It's consolidating. It does look like it's trying to break out of the consolidation pattern right now. As far as the weekly is concerned, you could see that little on the daily where they had this little move down, got everyone involved. Its key is it's got to break down below that level, so it's got to break below 575, and the resistance level is going to be around 620. So that's it for wheat. I think that's it for this week. If you have any questions, you could basically contact me here, mpatel@eiicapital.com, or you could email me at info@eiicapital.com. Have a good week, and I'll see you next week.